Hello everyone, my name is Digam Kumar Vikrambai Patel. We consist of three people group and our group number is Gold Coast HM312. Now we will be examining the cloud computer journey, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, with particular focus on the security and ethical challenges they have faced. As Australia's largest bank with over 50 million customers, CBA Cloud Transformation offer critical lesson for financial institutions nationwide. Moving to next slide. We are discussing about CBA cloud transformation journey. Let's begin with CBA's cloud adoption timeline. In 2016, CBA entered a landmark partnership with AWS, marking the beginning of their cloud first strategy. Today, they run 70% of workload in the cloud. That's over 2,500 applications migrated. Their hybrid architecture combines AWS for customer-facing apps with the for international system while maintaining legacy mainframe for core banking. The Combank used by 10 million Australian now process 500 transactions per second at peak time through cloud auto scaling. However, the transformation hasn't been without challenges, particular under APR strict regulation framework, which we will be examining next. Moving to next slide, we are discussing about security challenges at CBA. APR's CPA 234 create unique hurdles. Unlike retail companies, CBA must maintain financial data sovereignty, meaning all customer data must remain within Australian borders. This became particularly complex when they discovered AWS Sydney region actually routes some backup traffic through Singapore. Their 2021 API breach revealed critical gaps. A misconfigured AWS API gateway exposed transaction history due to missing resource-based policies. Forensic analysis showed their legacy mainframe integration created unexpected attack surfaces, particularly in SOAP to REST conversion layers. Now we are discussing about ethical consideration of CBA. Beyond security, CBA faces profound ethical dilemmas. Their cloud-based AI creating score model were found to have 22% bias against regional customers, traced to training data skew in their S3 databases. The environmental impact is equally complex. While AWS Sydney uses 70% renewable energy, CBA cloud footprint still equal 28,500 tons of CO2 annually. Through this represent a 32% of reduction from their on-prem days. Most controversial, their customer data monitorized through AWS personalized races. Question about informed consent in the terms of service.
Hello, in this slide we will talk about Australian regulatory compliance requirements which will include APRA CPS 234 Information Security Standard which will include mandatory controls, Privacy Act 1988 requirements for customer data handling, also Financial Sector Act 2021 obligations, and we will also add ASD Essential 8 mitigation strategies, abstract reporting requirements for suspicious transactions, and APRA Operational Risk Management CPS 230 for cloud outages. Now we are, now while moving to the next slide, we can see the table which can show us CBA's cloud security control framework, in which we can see control area which includes data encryption, access control, monitoring, incident response, vendor management, and training. In these different control areas we can do such specific implementation and compliance standard which we can see as in data encryption. We can do specific implementation like AWS kilometers with HSM backed keys, TLS 1.3 everywhere, and we can see the compliance standard as CPS 234 as for. In access control we can do such a specific implementation like Azure AD P2 plus Okta MFA just-in-time privileged access, and also compliance standard essential 8 hashtag 1 2. In monitoring, we can do such such a specific implementation, SIM integration, Splunk, CloudTrail plus configuration rules, and compliance standards. We can include a CPS 234 S6. Now moving to the incident response, we can do such specification like automated playbooks, 24 by 7 cloud security operations center, which compliance standard CPS 234 S8. In vendor management, we can do specific implementation like APRA approved CSP list, contractual security classes, CPS 234 S3. In training, we can do annual cloud security certification for 15,000 staff, and we can also do compliance standard essential 8-7. Now moving to the next slide, we can talk about here in is a case study 221 API security incident. Now the term incident will tell us like unauthenticated API endpoint export customers transaction. Now which from moving to the next task, we can see root cause misconfiguration, AWS API gateway resource policy, and detection found by ASD during routine assessment, not CBA monitoring. The impact of them is 12 million records potentially exposed, though no evidence of misuse. And the response was that 72 hours remediation external audit, the $1 million plus in upgrades. And the lesson we can learn in this from this incident that we can implement an API security gateway plus automatic scanning. Now moving to the next slide, we can do CBS emerging cloud technologies, which will include confidential computing for sensitive data processing, uh, cloud-based quantum-resistant crypting pilots, AWS hybrid, PQ, AI-powered fraud detection, and blockchain for interbank settlement project, edge computing for ATM networks, sustainable cloud inactivities, AWS Sydney renewable energy matching. That's
Hi, my name is Priyanshu Patel. So the numbers tell a compelling story. Infrastructure costs dropped 32% from 287 MTO, 287 MTO, 194 million annually, but with important caveats. The cloud networking cost actually increased by 17% due to cross AZ traffic, time to market improvements are staggering. New product launches shrunk from 9 months to just 2 weeks using AWS code pipeline. Security incidents dropped 79%, though cloud specific incidents now represent 68% of their total. The carbon footprint reduction comes largely from AWS's renewable energy purchases and server utilization rates jumping from 12% to 67%. These are actionable insights. For Australian financial institutions, we recommend 5 concrete steps. First, establish a cloud center of excellence with dedicated cloud security architects. CBA employs 14. Second, implement infrastructure as code scanning using tools like Checo to catch misconfigurations early. Third, negotiate specific data sovereign clauses. CBA's contract prohibits data routing through foreign jurisdiction. Fourth, conduct quarterly red team exercises focusing on cloud persistence techniques. Finally, invest in cloud native application protection platform like Prisma Cloud for routine protection. Forward looking, the horizon brings new challenges. Quantum computing threatens their RSA 2048 encryption within 5 to 7 years APRAs. Upcoming CPS 230 will impose strict cloud outage reporting requirements. The talent shortage is acute. AWS certified security specialists in Australia command 220,000 average salaries. Geopolitically, the US Cloud Act creates legal uncertainties for cross border investigations. Perhaps most pressing is sustainability, while AWS targets 100% renewable energy by 2025. CBA's data growth outpaces efficiency gains. In conclusion, CBA's journey reveals three key lessons. First, cloud security requires continuous adoption. Their controls evolved through 17 major revisions. Second, ethical considerations must keep pace with technical capabilities. Their AI ethics framework now has 53 specific cloud revisions. Finally, regularly compliance isn't a checkbox but an ongoing dialogue. CBA participates in 6 working groups shaping cloud standards. We have detailed references from APRA, ASD, and CBA's own technical papers. Thank you for your attention. We'd be happy to take any question about implementing this lesson in your organization.